Well, hello. Alex Oliver here with yet another installment of Project Onward Artists at Home Quarantine Edition. This really started out of necessity to just stay in touch with the artists and see some of their work and to keep you all informed about what's going on with the program while, the studio's closed and can't really, or we're not encouraged to leave the house as much. But it's turned into a really fun project, and it's something that we definitely intend to keep up, even after this is hopefully all behind us. And I'd love to feature every artist at some point. So we'll definitely keep them coming. We certainly appreciate you continuing to watch. If you're a fan of the series, then you probably saw my interview a while back with RJ Juguilon, and I'm really excited today to welcome his brother Janno, who is equally as talented, but and has his style is similar in a way, but there's a lot of he's got a very unique twist on it as well, which we're going to get into. So, hi everybody, hi Dijon, thanks for joining us. Thanks everybody. We're going to get into it here. Let me check to see if he is online, and we'll get going. All right. Doesn't look like Jano's online yet. So if one of the staff wants to shoot him a text or something, and just remind him that we're ready to go. I will take this opportunity, of course, to plug Project Onward and Jano's art specifically. Bunch of his work just went up on the store. So go check that out at projectonward.org. And also, just as a reminder, in addition to great art, there's also a lot of great merch, including the Old Man Bus t-shirt that I'm sporting today by Ricky Willis. I love it. You will too. It's comfortable, stylish, and it supports a wonderful cause. There are masks, there are tote bags, there's all kinds of things. So check that out as well. There's stores on Threadless. You can find a link at projectonward.org. Janno, if you want to take a moment to familiarize yourself with his work a little more, has a lot of fantastic examples on the Project Onward website. He also is on Instagram at Janno Juguilon. That's JANNOJUGUILON. JANNOJUGUILON. It doesn't have it's got some really wonderful examples of his work, but a lot of it, and we'll discuss this in great detail because I'm very fascinated by it. A lot of it are these kind of digital pieces that he makes that kind of mash up and cross over characters and scenes from different film and TV shows, mostly animated, some live action. Sometimes he even inserts himself in there. It's really fantastic. He's got a whole YouTube channel where he does this too. I mean, dozens and dozens of videos. And that's just under his name as well. Janno Juguilon. JANNOJUGUILON. Check out these YouTube videos. I can't wait to talk to him more about this because I've never seen anything like it. I imagine there's probably a whole YouTube subculture surrounding this style of video, but he really does an amazing job. All right, I'm going to take another moment to see if he's online. Doesn't look like he's here quite yet. Janno is magic. I totally agree, Robin. Go watch some of these videos if you haven't had a chance. I just scrolled down and watched a few, including, again, a lot of it are animated characters, Disney animation he's a huge fan of. A few franchises in particular, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, Hercules. So if you ever wanted to know what it'd be like if all these characters met and then, acted out a scene from Titanic or something, check this out. Harry Potter, some live action stuff shows up in there as well. I saw one where it was like Street Fighter and Janno makes a cameo toward the end of the video. It's really spectacular. Janno is coming now, Whitney says. Okay, great. That's all right. Nothing wrong with being fashionably late. Cars, yes, thank you, Michelle. Huge fan of Cars. I got to point out, one of the pieces I saw on his profile on the Project Onward website is a self-portrait, and it's him as a character from Cars. You got to see it to believe it. It's really fantastic. All right. I think he may be online. Let's check it out. There you are. All right. Hey, Janno, you there?
Uh, yeah.
We're
Can
having
you hear me?
I can hear you. Having a little trouble seeing you though.
Hang on.
Okay. Hello to the Kings for tuning in. Thank you. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're gonna get this thing going real soon. Can you see me all right, Janno? All right. Janno, if you can hear me, I'm gonna boot you here and then invite you back, all right? And hopefully we'll have a better connection. Out of the mist indeed. All right. So we're gonna try to sort this out with Jano. I see we got a lot of fans tuned in though. Dijon says, I remember Jano tells me that he also loves Disney movies. Yeah, he does, absolutely. There are a few franchises in particular that appear in his work a lot. And he does a lot of original work. Again, his style is similar to his brother's. And if you know anything about RJ's work, you know that it is very precise, painstakingly so, and he spends hours and hours and hours recreating like hyper realistic images of a lot of structural buildings, architecture, things like that. Jano has a lot of that as well, but there's kind of a softer quality about it that I really enjoy. I think part of that is probably because he's just such a big fan of animation. And I'm curious to know if I mean, I know he works in a lot of different mediums. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. I just forgot to shave today. Uh, he uh, he works in a lot of 2D art, but he also likes working with a lot of 3D stuff, including sculpting. I know he's taken a woodworking class, but he works with a lot of graphic design as well. So I'm curious to know if he's experimented with animating at all. We'll find out as soon as we get him on here. Let's give this another shot. Hey, Jana, what's up?
Hey,
That's
sorry
much
about
better.
that.
That's quite all right. No problem. Can you see and hear me all right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. How are you this afternoon?
Oh, I'm good.
Good, good. I don't know if you heard any of my introduction. I was just kind of trying to give everyone an idea of what your work is like, but you've got such a wide variety. You work in a variety of different mediums, and you explore a lot of different themes and subjects. But I guess what I'd like to begin with is your more like 2D painting and drawing because oh, you're freezing up on me, Jano. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. We're losing some of the video, but as long as you can hear me all right and we can hear you, we'll go ahead and just kind of proceed and hope that that clears up. A little blurry there. Okay. Are you connected to Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
Okay, great. Everyone's pointing out that you have a beautiful singing voice too. That's true. I've heard you sing at some
yeah,
of the Project Onward parties,
yeah.
and I want to talk about all that. But I want to start with painting and drawing
Uh-huh.
because that is kind of the bread and butter at Project Onward, and you do an exceptional job. I talked to your brother a bit, and I know that he has again a very detail oriented, painstakingly precise way of doing things where he kind of lays everything out on a graph. He kind of graphs it all first and then colors in each individual segment. What is your process like? How do you approach painting and drawing?
Well, drawing is maybe I've started drawing when since I was a kid. I re
Uh-huh.
When I was a kid, I'd like to draw Disney characters and other stuff.
Yeah. What were some of your favorite Disney movies when you were a kid?
Well, The Lion King.
I have seen a lot of The Lion King pop up in your work. Yeah, I know that's one of the classics that you're a big fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also seem to enjoy. You seem to be a big fan of a lot of the more recent Disney movies too,
Yeah,
um, and it's pretty amazing how you kind of incorporate all of these characters from different universes and kind
yeah,
of and they meet in your work, and even you'll appear in there sometimes, which I think
yeah.
is really great. There's a really great image of you and is it Simba or is it Mufasa on your Instagram page? You're kind of hugging him on there.
With on my face that was on my Facebook page. I
Oh,
uploaded
okay.
my Facebook.
Yeah, it's you, and I think it's an adult Simba. Is that right?
That's Mufasa.
Oh, it's Mufasa. Okay, great.
And there is another one with me with Simba.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, you've appeared in a lot of these scenes. I love the as a Street Fighter fan, I loved all of the images of you and characters from Street Fighter. That's really fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much. You started to talk about when you were a kid and being kind of inspired by Disney movies. So what was it like? What did you start with when you were a kid and you first got into art? How old do you think you were? And did you start with kind of just drawing pictures, just kind of doodling, or how did it begin?
Well, whenever I whenever I see some of my favorite movies, I draw I draw it on a notebook before,
Uh-huh.
and then
That's
I
great.
and that and then I and then after drawing them, I just have to before the computer. I always have to keep rewinding it back and forth until I get the proportions. But
Yeah. So would you kind of rewind and pause and really study a specific frame of a movie
yeah,
until you got it just right? So it sounds like you're kind of like your brother in that regard, where you like to really take your time and get it just right.
yeah,
Even when you were a kid, you took that time and kind of gave that kind of attention to detail.
yeah. I
Yeah,
did have to get it precise a bit.
absolutely. Well, it shows. I mean, your work is really spectacular. It definitely is obvious that you really took your time with all of your pieces. And then moving ahead a little bit, when did you first become involved with Project Onward? Because RJ was there first, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so how old were you when you discovered Project Onward and when you ended up joining?
Well, maybe I was a little in my 20s.
I see. And you've been there for how long now?
Maybe at least 5 years.
Okay, great. So a while, and you've got an impressive body of work, and I imagine Project Onward uh, must be a pretty positive environment to work in. Do you enjoy being around the other artists and being there alongside your brother? Your workspaces are right next to each other. Do you like being around other artists when you work?
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
admiring their what they're working on, and then saying a few comments.
Yeah, good, good. So you're always looking for advice and happy to offer advice to them. It's a very collaborative effort. Everyone seems to really get into the team spirit when they're working together there. I really like that about the studio. It's a very positive environment. Um, so when did you start to get interested? I just discovered these your YouTube channel, and I told everyone that they need to go watch it because these videos are really cool. You mash up and cross over characters. You
Yeah.
take scenes from different movies,
Yes.
and then you'll basically create an entire. Sometimes you'll have dialogue from another scene from a completely unrelated movie, and
Yeah.
then you'll recreate that scene with characters from other movies.
That's right.
So, and then sometimes you'll use the existing dialogue from the scenes
From
that you're
your.
including on the clip to
Uh-huh.
basically create a whole new scenario. And it's really amazing because you're not just I want people to understand if they haven't seen this, you're not just taking kind of random scenes and just finding any scenes where the kind of mouth movement moves up. You're really the action that's happening and the emotion on the characters' faces really matches up with the dialogue too.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. How long does it? Well, first of all, I want to ask, how did you start to get interested in doing that? Did you see this somewhere else, and did it kind of inspire
Well,
you to try it yourself?
when I when I was seeing one. watching on YouTube, I saw these some of these videos that crossed over with other movies.
Uh-huh. And you thought, hey, I could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made me wonder. Maybe I could do one.
Now, did
Well,
you have any kind of film editing experience? Were you familiar with the software at all, or did you just kind of teach yourself
well,
how to do it?
I was I got this video editing program called Windows Media Maker. I mean,
Hmm.
Windows Movie Maker.
I see. And how difficult was it for you to figure it out? Did you kind of learn it pretty quick?
Well, it was trying to get all the tools right and how to use it. Well,
Yeah.
but it was worth how I worked on it.
Now, Michelle pointed out in the comments that you have a lot of subscribers, and I just looked, and you do. 41.1 thousand subscribers
Yeah.
as of the making of this video on YouTube. And I watched through a few earlier this afternoon, and
Uh-huh.
it seems like your fans are very enthusiastic, and they'll leave a lot of comments. They'll request specific characters or scenes that they want to see you mash up.
They like
Do you listen to your fans' comments, and do you kind of try to make those happen? If they I saw one that said, they wanted to see Thomas the Tank Engine meets Disney or
may-
something like that.
maybe I could try, but
Yeah. But when you see these comments from people, do you think, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll give that a shot"?
yeah.
Yeah, cool, cool. Well, yeah, it's really cool stuff. And I really like it when you make a surprise cameo appearance in
Yeah.
the video. Like I saw Street Fighter meets Disney characters from Disney and others, and
Yeah.
then you popped up toward the end there, and I was like, "Oh, that's fantastic. I love
Yeah.
it."
That's me.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit more
Uh-huh.
about growing up in the same house as another artist, as your brother, RJ. The puppyist, in fact, asks, did you and RJ do a lot of art growing up together? So I'm curious what that was like. Did you kind of help inspire each other? First of all, how is he's your older brother, right? Or is he
Yeah.
younger?
He's RJ's old is the firstborn.
And how much older is he?
Well, he's born in his birthday's December 8th and I'm born December 20 22nd.
Oh, I see. So, but same year. So you're not that far apart then.
Well, actually he's 1988 and I'm 93.
Oh, got it. Okay, so there are a few years there in between.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Did he help kind of inspire you to begin making art?
Well, maybe after seeing his drawings, maybe he said maybe I could paint them instead. That way I don't have to copy his style.
Yeah, okay. So you kind of saw what he was doing and you were kind of inspired by it, but then you thought, let me see how I can kind of turn this into my own original thing.
Yeah.
Great. That's really fantastic. That sounds like it's a pretty good symbiotic relationship. Now you two do work a lot together. In fact, last year you had, or maybe it was earlier this year, I can't remember exactly, but it was recently. You two had your own kind of joint gallery showcase at the studio,
Hmm.
and it was really cool. I mean, because again, your work complements each other very well. I'm really glad that I got to talk to you both individually, though, because I do think it's important to point out um, the differences. And one of the key differences is how much you enjoy working in other mediums. Nancy, in fact, just pointed out the paper castle sculptures.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the 3D art that you do and what you like most about making that.
Well, doing these 3D work makes me like to hold the entire structure in my hands.
Uh-huh.
Instead of seeing the actual big thing, I wonder how it would feel like holding it in your hands.
Wow. Do you remember when you started experimenting with that? How old were you?
Maybe I was maybe 16.
Uh-huh. Okay. That's great. So was it did you find that it was a different sensation, a different feeling when you got to actually
Yeah,
actually hold it?
yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So you worked with paper and cardboard, and I know you've done some. Have you done any ceramics?
Actually, I did.
Uh-huh. And I heard that you actually have been taking woodworking classes too. Is that right?
Yeah,
How's that going? Have you enjoyed that? Is that kind of a different experience too?
yeah. It sure was. Like,
Uh-huh.
I always wonder. I can't. I can't use the same thing all the time. It's this. Maybe I should try to use something else instead of old-fashioned paper and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the hallmark of any great artist is constantly reinventing yourself. I mean, it's your audience appreciates it, and I'm sure it helps keep it fresh and interesting for you too, and helps keep you inspired.
Yeah.
What sort of things are you making in woodworking?
Well, last time, a few semesters ago, back in Northeastern, I made a some sort of shelf.
Uh-huh.
It's a supposed to be shaped like a dinosaur.
Cool. So it's kind of artistic, but also serves sort of a practical purpose too. You can actually put things on this
Yeah.
shelf. Yeah, that's awesome. Have you made things like birdhouses or any of the classic kind of
No,
introduction to woodworking projects like that?
no. But I
No. Well,
make, but I did make book stoppers out of wood.
oh, excellent. Like bookends for a
Yeah.
bookshelf. Yeah, fantastic. That's very cool. Wow. You know, my dad's really into that too, and he's made some really cool stuff. And I know it's something that kind of is just brings him a lot of joy, just working with his hands like that and having something to hold, having something tangible to hold when you're done. So I imagine that's a very satisfying feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you're at home right now. Of course, all the artists are working from home right now.
Yeah.
And have you been finding time to work at home? Is there anything that you can show us that you've been working on recently?
Sure.
Oh, great.
Well, this is a this is a pretty big one here. I worked it's for the fundraiser. It's supposed to be the skyline of New York.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's amazing. So this is obviously based on an older image. I see that the
Yeah.
World Trade Center is still there. I mean, that was such a classic, iconic part of
Yeah.
of the skyline for so long. That's really beautiful. You know, Robin pointed out that your new paintings are breathtaking and have a tranquility about them, and I can already tell just from looking at this that that's true. Do you find that it kind of brings you peace and helps you kind of relax when you're working on a painting?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's excellent. Do you have
I
anything else you can show us?
well, there's this one's for the supposed to be for the narrative show. It's supposed to be my four new adventures in California.
Oh, wow. Look at that. So it kind of tells a story then about. Now, did
Yeah.
you actually go to California or is this just kind of an idea you had?
Yeah, I did actually go to California last
Oh,
time.
cool. So what are we seeing here? What are these places that you visited?
First, this is at Lake Tahoe,
Uh-huh.
and then we traveled to Santa Monica Beach.
Oh, very cool. Is the
Very,
pier in the Santa Monica Pier in there? I can't really see.
not a, no,
No.
this is
Oh,
from
okay.
you. And
Cool.
this one's supposed to be at Yosemite National Park. This is the
Fantastic.
Half Dome, and this is supposed to be the Sequoia National Forest.
Wow. It's beautiful. Well done, Janno. Dejan says extraordinary, awesome, and beautiful. I totally agree.
Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you for sharing those. Now, we did. You mentioned a little bit that you find it kind of relaxing and peaceful when you're working on art. Uh, how long does it take on average for you to finish a painting like that of that size and that kind of
Maybe
detail?
the bigger one.
Hmm.
Well, maybe like 2 to 4 weeks max.
Yeah. Okay. Do you ever get frustrated when you're working on it, or is it hard for you to decide when a work is done, or do you have a pretty good idea and you're just kind of ready to move on?
Well, sometimes I kind of feel like it's not really finished yet,
Uh-huh.
but other people, like my brother and everyone in my family, can give me feedback on what I'm missing.
Good. Yeah, that's great. It seems like you're always open to constructive criticism and advice, and again, that's a good sign as an artist. That means you're always wanting to learn and always looking for a challenge. So I certainly appreciate knowing that about you. Um, I really loved your outdoor scenes, and I know a lot of the artists are kind of inspired by the outdoors and by nature, and Project Onward, in fact, did an entire nature show, and a lot of them though haven't had opportunities, especially ones that grew up in the city, to visit a lot of these places. But it's really cool that you've actually been to these national parks and have done so much exploring. Does
Yeah.
that when you're out in nature in the elements like that, are you constantly looking for things to paint? Are you always drawing inspiration from the world around you?
Yeah. Well, usually I have to keep an open mind of what's there, what else new is there to see besides going to the same place every time.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course your monuments are also spectacular. We saw the Statue of Liberty there. I will say one of your a very popular recent piece that you made was of the Christopher Columbus
Yeah.
statue, which of course was a very hot button issue. And without getting too political, I'll just tell people that they should. It is out of stock right now, but you should go and take a look because there is still an image of it on the Project Onward website, and you
Yeah.
can draw your own conclusion. But it's really a stunning and very just timely piece of work. I really was impressed by that one a lot, Jano. But I guess well, we do have a few more questions rolling in.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about your process a bit, Sloop Bobby D wants to know what's your favorite medium? Do you have a specific? I mean, obviously, you work in a lot of different mediums. Do
Yeah.
you have one that's a favorite, or does it kind of change? Whatever you're into at a certain moment can change from week to week or day to day. What do you prefer to work in?
Well, usually when I'm at home, I go on my computer and edit my videos, but mostly my favorite medium is acrylic paint
Oh,
because
great.
it's pretty smooth and it could dry a bit faster, but not too fast.
Yeah, yeah. But
Well,
you've
I
been. Oh no,
yeah,
please go ahead. Finish your thought.
and back when my first semester with painting, I started with oil, and I learned it's drying a bit slower than acrylic.
I see. So you like the acrylic paint just because it helps move the process along a little faster.
Yeah,
Great. Well, yeah, you're very have a very pragmatic approach. So I imagine that's probably why you enjoy um, working in more digital mediums a little more, is because you have such control over what it is you're working on. What is that correct? Do you like to have? There's really very little room for error when you're working on more of a digital platform.
yeah,
Yeah. So, and again, everyone should go look at your YouTube channel because you're obviously very prolific. You're working on these videos a lot, I would imagine. Uh, what are some of your who are some of your favorite characters to incorporate into your videos?
well, when well, I like Wreck-It Ralph.
Uh-huh. So
I
Wreck-It Ralph. Now you'll have to forgive me, Jano, because I've never actually seen the movie. But from what I understand, that's almost kind of the premise of Wreck-It Ralph, isn't it? He sort of just crosses over into all of these other stories and all these other universes, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's true.
Is that part of the reason why you like him so much?
Well, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, but what I like about him is that he found he had a big heart. He finally he finally realized what's more important. He finally realized what he already had.
I see.
Turns out,
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it.
well, he he always everybody looked at him as a bad guy, but he's not
Mm,
really bad. He's just I would say I would people shouldn't judge him for who he is outside. I I they have to believe what's they have to believe who they are in by heart, meaning inside of you.
absolutely. You should never judge a book by its cover. That's a
No,
very valuable lesson. Do you feel like people, do you think people maybe misjudge you sometimes, Jano, and maybe don't, maybe don't fully
some
understand your personality and your spirit until they really get to know you?
yeah, usually
Yeah. Yeah. Well, great. That's good advice, and everyone should definitely take the time to really get to know somebody before they make any judgments.
yeah,
Well, another medium that we haven't really touched on, someone mentioned it briefly in the comments earlier,
yeah,
but that is music. I know you love to sing. I know you're a huge fan of music. I
yeah,
am too. I've gotten to hear you sing at some of the Project Onward karaoke parties we've had in the past.
yeah.
Who are some of your favorite artists? And do you like to listen to music when you're working on art?
Oh yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
really helps the time go by.
Yeah. Cool. So what are you usually listening to?
Well, soundtrack music, but even I like listening to the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, I know you're a big Backstreet Boys fan. Do you have a favorite? Who's your favorite Backstreet Boy?
Maybe I don't
You know,
know. Maybe
yeah, it's hard to pick
Brian.
one. Maybe Brian?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he's a good one. Most people would probably say Nick, but
I
Brian,
like him too.
yeah, yeah, they're great. But Brian's definitely more of a he always kind of seemed like, I don't know, the fearless leader to me,
Mm.
you know? Nick was if to I always compare interpersonal dynamics like that to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if they were the Ninja Turtles, I think Nick is more of a Michelangelo,
Oh,
whereas Brian's more of a Leonardo. Do you think that's probably accurate?
something like that. Yeah.
Good. I've thought a lot about this, as you can tell. Well, great. So you usually like to put it on then when you're working. What's your space at home like where you work? Because you've got a really nice space in the studio, but do you have a
Well,
comfortable area at home where you can work?
well, both my brother and I, both my brother and I work in our bedroom.
Uh-huh. Cool. So you live together and you work closely
No,
together. That's great. That's great. And do you find that helps inspire you? Are you often exchanging ideas with each other when you're working at home?
yeah,
Yeah,
some,
fantastic.
but usually sometimes while he's draw, but sometimes he just asks for my help on how to draw something. But last
Yeah.
he asked me to draw some of those yachts on the lake.
Oh,
On
cool. That's so great. Good. I'm glad that you two still enjoy working with each other because I know sometimes growing up with a sibling can be a little difficult sometimes. Whoops, I accidentally started one of your videos there. Excuse me. I had that Street Fighter video queued up still. That was really great.
which
Um,
one is that one?
it was the one, it was Street Fighter meets Disney and others, and you appear at the very end there. Everyone's kind of getting ready to go on some kind of adventure, and then you like kind of tie the bandana around your head
Oh
at
yeah,
the end there. Yeah, so cool. I love it. I was so surprised when you showed up, but it really helped take it to the next level for me.
yeah.
All right, Jano. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask because this has become a bit of a theme now when I speak to the artists who are such big music fans and such talented performers. Uh, Nancy did ask in the comments if you would sing. There's no pressure, but if you feel like singing a song, you're welcome to take a moment. Doesn't even have to be the whole song, but is that something you might want to do, or
Well, maybe another time.
maybe another time? Cool, no problem. Just
Usually
thought I'd ask.
parties and stuff.
Yeah, great, excellent. Yeah, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but that's totally fine. We'll do it some other time.
Yeah.
Maybe we could even organize like an online karaoke party or something, and we everyone can sing their favorite songs.
Yeah.
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 Well, Jano, before we wrap things up, I have to know, of course, I know you're always open to advice from other artists, but I'd like to know what kind of advice you have for people, especially right now in these kind of, uncertain times that we live in with the coronavirus. What what advice would you give other artists who are trying to find inspiration and trying to make art?
Well, what I want to say is that just because we're all apart doesn't mean that we're actually apart. We'll always be connected. And whenever you feel like to be with someone else, just do it. Don't let this virus stop you.
But do it safely.
But yeah, do it
That's
safe.
yes, absolutely. That's beautiful. That's a very nice sentiment, and I think everyone can get behind that, Jano. Um, what's it been like for you personally? Not just with related to making art, but just kind of your day to day. Um, have you been what have you been doing to kind of stay positive and stay motivated throughout these times while you're stuck at home?
Well, I usually every morning I go for a walk with my mother, and then
Fantastic.
sometimes in the late afternoon, I go ride my bike.
Oh, good. Those are two of my favorite things to do also.
Yeah, it keeps my mind out of the hot, keeps my mind relaxed from art, and
Yeah.
it'll somehow give me some more ideas.
Excellent. So it's a nice kind of break from making art, but it's also can be a really great source of inspiration. That's fantastic. Do you have any other hobbies that you enjoy? I guess your other hobbies are
But
probably all pretty creative.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Wow.
when well, some of my hobbies I still do. It's like I make these popsicle stick puppets of Disney characters, even some celebrities I like,
Really?
and made a puppet of me as well.
Do you have any of those that you can show us?
Actually, hang on. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
great. No, it's okay. Take your time.
Show my bit myself. Well, here's some of them. This is one of my
Ah, wonderful. Oh, that's so good. Just very simple little puppets on popsicle sticks.
yeah.
That's great. So what do you use these for? Do you kind of act out your own little puppet shows with them or kind of
Sometimes
come up
yeah
with
I
your
do,
own scene?
but usually watch some of the my favorite movies.
That's great. Fantastic. Well, we've got a few questions rolling in from some of the viewers, so uh, if you don't mind sticking around just a little longer, we're gonna go through
Sure,
some of these. And Whitney, of
sure.
course, wants me to plug your work on the store. Uh, and so again, projectonward.org. A bunch of his stuff just went up today, and it's all fantastic. So definitely get some while you can. And I do want to bring up some of the questions here. Oh, is that RJ back there?
Yeah, he's about to
Yeah.
go for a ride your bike.
Oh,
That,
fantastic. Okay, well, I won't keep you long just in case you want to join him. But Robin wants to know. Oh, actually, here, we'll start with Nancy's question. Do you have
yeah,
any pets?
well, my cousin does,
Oh,
but he's a cute dog.
a dog, yeah. Do
Yes.
you like dogs?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well,
Do you ever do any pet portraits?
actually, I did.
Yeah, that's great.
I did. I did one of my cousin's dog,
Do you
and I
know?
gave it to her. She
Oh,
lives
that's
in
so
New York.
nice.
She lives in New York.
That's great. That's great. Well, Robin wants to know, are there any YouTubers you subscribe to, and are they animators as well? Who are you a fan of on YouTube?
Well, some of these other crossover movie YouTubers, just like one of them.
Yeah, great. So
And that
there are
YouTuber
other
inspired me to do my own. Well,
excellent.
I did one. I finished the whole series of it when Lightning McQueen plays the role of Balto.
Oh, I saw some of those videos. That was so great. That was so great. Yeah. Okay. Well, Jano, I'll let you go just in case you want to join your brother for his
Uh,
bike ride. But I
feel
do want
free-
to
yeah.
I do want to point out real quick. Bill mentioned that there's a dog show in November, so that's a great segue into that because again, Project Onward
I
puts
told
together these really amazing shows with
you.
really great themes. We've done a cat show in the past. Dog show's coming in November, so keep an eye out for that. Maybe we can get another dog portrait out of Jano. But
Yeah, sure.
thank you all for watching. Jano, thank you so much for joining us. It's beautiful out there this afternoon, so I'm going to let you go so you can go enjoy some of the day because I know you like
Okay.
to get out there and clear your head a little. But thank you again for joining us. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Well, what of well, usually in my end of my videos, I say, "Let your imagination set you free."
Ah, I love it. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful advice and all the
Thank you,
insight.
Alex.
Of course. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you again real soon, Jano, okay?
Sure.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, and thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back next week with another exciting artist interview. We can't do this without you and without the amazing staff at Project Onward and all the volunteers, and of course, the brilliant artists, including Ricky Willis, whose Old Man Bus is on my t-shirt here. You can get one of your own at projectonward.org. And of course, Janno Juguilon, whose work is amazing. If I haven't already inspired you to go look at it, do it now. You won't regret it. It's so much fun. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next week.